Okay, so today we're going to do some division, and this is our part 1 division video. We are going to have a part 2 and a part 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my problem here, which is 536 divided by 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide. So I have how many groups of 2 can go into 5? So 5 divided by 2, I'm going to put a 2 up here. Now I'm going to come over here, I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. I'm going to check to see that 1 is smaller than 2, my divisor. I'm good. And I'm going to bring down my next number, which is a 3. And so now, when I'm done with the bring down, I'm going to go all the way back up to the top, which starts back at my D. So DMSCB, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? If you write this on the side, it's going to always help you with those steps so that you can remember what to do throughout your problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the D, which is divide. So how many groups of 2 go into 13? 13 divided by 2, I'm going to put a 6. Goes in 6 times. Now I'm going to multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. I'm going to check, is 1 smaller than 2? Yes. Now I'm going to bring down my next number, which is a 6. And I'm going to go all the way back up to divide. 16 divided by 2, that's going to give me 8. I'm going to multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. I'm going to subtract. 16 minus 16 is 0. I'm going to check to see, is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. And then I'm going to see if I need to bring down. I have nothing left to bring down, so now I have my answer. So if I look up at the top, 536 divided by 2, my answer is 268, and I have nothing left over. All right, I'm going to come down and do the next problem right here. Okay, and again, I wrote my does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers on the side, and just so we can remember, I'm going to put my divide, multiply, subtract, check, and then bring down, just kind of my symbols to remind me the steps for when I'm doing this long division problem. All right, so my first one, divide. So I need to think, okay, how many groups of 3 can fit into that first number 5? And they can only go in one time. 1 times 3 is 3, so I'm multiplying right here. Now I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. I'm going to check. Is 2 smaller than 3? Yes. So then I'm going to bring down. So now I have 22. So I'm going to go all the way back up to divide. 22 divided by 3, thinking about how many groups of 3 can go all the way and fit into 21. And that's going to be 22. 7 times 3 is 21. Now I'm going to subtract. 22 minus 21 is 1. And I'm going to check. Is 1 smaller than 3? Yes. So now I can go down to the B, bring down my 5. Now I'm going to go all the way back up to the top, so I'm at divide. So I'm going to think, okay, how many groups of 3 can go into 15? Or like 15 divided by 3. And that's going to equal 5. So I'm going to take that 5, put it right above. 5 times 3, that multiply step is 15. Subtract. 15 minus 15 is 0. I'm going to check. Is 0 smaller than 3? Yes. Bring down. Do I have anything left to bring down? I do not. And I do not have anything left over. So if I look at the top, 525 divided by 3 is going to give you an answer of 175. All right. And I have one last one as an example. Okay. So again, I'm going to go ahead and over to the side I have my does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? I wrote that down. So again, I'm going to do divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, just so I have those symbols to help me. All right, starting with my first one right here with a 6. So how many groups of 2 can go into that 6? Or thinking about it as division, 6 divided by 2, that's going to equal 3. Put my little multiplication to remind me. Multiply, 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract, 6 minus 6 is 0. Check. Is that smaller than 2, my divisor? Yes. Bring down my next number, which is my 5. So now how many groups of 2 can fit into that 5 right there? And I'm going to say 2. I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 equals 4. I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. I'm going to check. Is 1 smaller than 2? Yes. I'm going to bring down my next number, which is 8. So now I have 18. So how many groups of 2 can go into 18? 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Now I'm going to multiply. 9 times 2 is 18. I'm going to subtract. 18 minus 18, 0. I'm going to check. Is 0 smaller than 2? Yes. Do I have anything left to bring down? No. So I have nothing left over. And if I look up at the top, 658 divided by 2, my answer is 329. Okay. And I do have one more really fast that I will do just so that we can practice together. Okay? Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? One last time. How many groups of 5 are going to fit into that first number, which is my 7? So thinking like 7 divided by 5, that's going to equal 1. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down my next number, which equals 2. So now I have 22. Go back up to the top. So now I'm dividing. 22 divided by 5, thinking about how many groups of 5 can go into 22. I'm going to say 4. Right above that 2 is where my 4 goes. 4 times 5, and the multiply step equals 20. I'm going to subtract. 22 minus 20 equals 2. I'm going to check. Is that 2 smaller than my divisor? Is that 2 smaller than 5? Yes. Bring down my last number. So now I have 25. Go all the way up to the top. How many groups of 5 are going to fit into that 25, that number? Thinking about 25 divided by 5, which equals 5. Now I'm going to multiply. 5 times 5, 25. I'm going to subtract at the subtract step. 25 minus 25 is 0. I'm going to check. Is 0 smaller than 5? Yes. And this is how many I have left over. I have nothing left to bring down. So my answer at the top, 725 divided by 5 equals 145. All right. And now you've got our lesson practice. So you have 2 problems to go ahead and practice. 456 divided by 4 and 874 divided by 2.